It is 5:30 p.m. and I'm calling to order this regular meeting of the Fargo Board of Education. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I look for approval of the agenda. Greg?
I move approval of the agenda with the human capital addendum.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Greg and a second from Namal. Any discussion? All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposition, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. And tonight we get to continue our celebration of music in our schools month, and we are joined tonight by Discovery Middle School 8th grade flute trio. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Before you leave, I was wondering, could you each introduce yourselves and just share very briefly what got you hooked on the flute?
My name's Harley, and I personally just really loved the sound of the instrument, and it always had fascinated me. So,
Great, thank
my
you.
name's Miriam. I tried every other instrument, and I stuck with the flute.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
My name is Emma Browning, and I just have always loved the sound of the flute, and both of my brothers did band, and that's why I chose to do band. And orchestra didn't really work out for me anyways, so.
Okay, good. Well, wonderful. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for our performers? Nikki?
I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm so thrilled to see flutes highlighted. I played flute, and we didn't get very much spotlight, so way to go.
Nice, thank you.
Loved it.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay, well, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it, and we're so proud of the musicians in our schools.
Thank you.
Okay, next up on our agenda is recognition of the audience, and we do not have anyone signed up to speak this evening, so we'll move right into our reports. So Ms. Haugen Christensen is here with the FEA. We're so glad you came back from spring break and could be here with us.
minutes. Oh, there we go. Actually, I need another week to do all the work I didn't do during spring break because I was having a break. So I've been waxing philosophical. I spent several days in some of the most beautiful country in the world. Let me please know that, first of all, I am a Red River Valley native, and truly, my heart sings when I come back to the flatland, but there's something about the Black Hills. It's possible I watch too much true crime, and it doesn't help that my brother, whom I visit in the Black Hills, is law enforcement. For quite a while when I first got there, all I kept noticing was good places to stash a victim. Totally innocent speculation, I promise. Okay. I don't know if it's perspective or context or framing. The thing is, I know that to a great extent, we see what we expect to see. We decide how we see our world. I realized the other day, I'd never seen Sylvan Lake with ice and snow before. And I was really amazed at how different and yet the same it is. It gave me a shiver in a really good way to see this familiar scene being different, not more, not less. And in some way, it is the same thing. And I started extending this so that everything has the potential to be also its opposite. Extend this a little bit, especially because I'm getting a little tangled up here. The potential of chaos can also be the potential of stability. Fear can be love. You get it. This is a weird time of year. Weather's unpredictable. It's tricky to decide if it's better for us in the schools if it stays wintry, or could we just have summer now? And we know that every second we spend discussing which would be better for us, it doesn't matter what we decide anyway. Right now, there are so many days of school left, but somehow also not enough days of school left. We're always looking at what's coming up and getting our kids ready for the next thing. And at this time of the year, time is too finite to even consider the next things. During the session, we watch what's happening in politics, and that makes us worry. And sometimes we can feel gratitude. For me, it can feel like we don't sit in the moment and be where we are right now. We get to decide what our focus is. I wouldn't trade an icy lake for a warm one. It couldn't be any more fabulous than what it is when you're right there. So I feel like I need to explicitly remind myself and ask you to remind yourselves too that where we are right now is pretty amazing. We have some of the best educators in the world working with us. We have wonderful children. We have a system, and this is with great pride I say this, we have a system that is designed for the sole purpose of educating and empowering all students to succeed. We have commitments from our Board of Education and Administration to support educators every way you can so that we can help each other, help our kids. The next thing we're thinking about is transitions in staff. Some of it, like politics, makes us worry. We consider determinations about FTEs, programming, non-renewal deadlines. We're also thinking about district leadership transitions. I made a quick trip to Northern Cass a couple weeks ago to meet again with Corey Steiner after he was named superintendent. And I am fired up to be able to say he is going to be a powerful leader for us. He believes in and relies on educators' expertise. He understands the work we do, and he's eager to learn more as he works with all of us and our students. Where we are right now is amazing, and where we will be next is amazing. We don't choose if it's icy or warm, if it's chaotic or stable, if it's anarchy or peace. We have our world now, and we have the promise of what we can help our world be coming up. That could be cool.
Thank you very much, Laura. And next up, we have a legislative update, so I will turn to Robin for that.
Okay, thank you. Updates since I sent last week for North Dakota. Senate Bill 2307 that addresses public school libraries is not scheduled in committee yet, but I want to personally thank Governmental Affairs Committee member Naimal for offering to write the email that was sent directly to local legislators. She informed me that she did indeed receive some feedback, so thank you. Yesterday was pretty heavy and an emotional day for those of us who watched committee hearings and the House floor session. First bill, House Bill 1144, related to school bathrooms and communal sinks. Thank you to Governmental Affairs Committee member Kristen for submitting testimony, online testimony, and she also testified virtually as an individual. Want to bring to your attention, there was an incorrect statement about federal case law by an executive director of a statewide religious organization who testified in favor. Also, I encourage you all to watch West Fargo business manager Levi Bachmeyer's very pragmatic testimony in opposition of this bill. Senate Bill 2104, school compliance with state education law, was addressed during committee work. This bill would require DPI to become a regulatory entity investigating non-compliance complaints from citizens. It's not clear if parents would be the ones that would be submitting those, and to fine schools. This bill, as Superintendent Baszler testified, would require an additional 2.3 additional FTEs, and it would place DPI to act as a regulatory agency rather than a teaching and learning agency. This bill would also allow complaints to forego the local appeal process. And just a little reminder, our local appeal process is typically you meet with your teacher, and then you go to the principal, and then you go to the administration, and then go to the school board. But instead, these complaints would be directed first to DPI. It also does not address conflicts between state, federal, and case law. The bill did come out of the committee with an 8-5 do not pass recommendation, so it will be on the floor soon. Senate Bill 2105, relating to the Youth Risk Behavior Survey. I sent everybody updates on that. A motion to reconsider 2105 failed on the House floor on Monday. Therefore, as I understand it, the bill has failed. Is that how? Okay, thank you. Okay. House Bill 1176 was the prevailing property tax bill. We've been following pretty closely. It was scheduled on Monday and was canceled, not unlike what happened the last time this bill was scheduled. So canceled typically means postponed, so stay tuned. General comments. The pace and intensity of many of the surviving bills is quite overwhelming as policy bills are wrapping up and will get even more difficult to follow as some head to conference committee. Thank you for your patience for me, as well as for those that are helping to monitor and submit testimony. I'm likely going to shift some of my energies to bills related to funding, like K-12 funding, property tax, and the ESA legislation. And then heads up, tomorrow is going to be an even busier day. There are two bills that are being heard in committee that are related to cell phone use. And those started out as bans of cell phones and have been amended down to policies. School districts are required to have policies for cell phone use. Those are heard at 9 and 10. And then there is a press conference scheduled for 11 with the governor and lieutenant governor and a couple of the primary bill sponsors of the Senate bill and the House bill. Likely they will be accepting amendments to their bills for a full cell phone bill ban. And you can also expect some other announcements to come out of that. So, and at the same time, it'll be interesting to see how the media covers this. There will be some of the charges coming down from a former legislator when his sentencing is announced tomorrow. So if you watch the media, buckle up. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your updates and all your diligence with that. I appreciate it. And that takes us to our administration report. Dr. Gandhi, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, thank you. This is the time for us to be working on our strategic and operational plan, and that is where our focus is. We did bring to governance just a notion or just kind of wanting to let the board know that as we go into next year, one of our big focuses compared to our strategic and operational plan this year was to reduce the amount of measures, just knowing that we want to be as effective as we can as an organization with truly identifying what are our priority goals that determine success in this organization and how do we use those as anchors to allocate our resources. So last year it was during this meeting where the first reading of the strategic and operational plan was presented. I did email our board president and we were requesting to the board to just, administration is just requesting a little bit more time because this year, I mean, we're going through a learning experience. And I think for us, we're having some very rich conversations about what does each layer in the strategic plan mean? What should be in the operational plan, what shouldn't be, what's considered a strategy? But ultimately, what we're really having some rich conversations on are how do we ultimately define success? Because the board monitors the system through reasonable progress, and we have 4 layers in our strategic plan, starting from results all the way down to measures, and then sometimes we even have sub-indicators for our operational plan action items, and that sometimes diverts focus or attention, but also sometimes overemphasizes one layer of data that should be used for practitioner growth and development to be more of an evaluatory data piece or not. And I think what we're trying to do is norm as a system of what are those most important goals for us. So we're going through that, presenting to our principals, trying to get in all of our cabinet director leads as well. So that's why we requested a little bit of extension, but that's going to be our focus in building that strategic and operational plan as we move forward. And that will be coming to you in subsequent board meetings.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Next, we will look for approval of the consent agenda. Namal?
I would like to approve the consent agenda with the human capital actions.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion from Namal.
Second.
Okay, motion from Namal and a second from Ally. Any conversation? No? All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposition, same sign? And that passes 9-0. That brings us to our business section. Memo 86 is regarding an honorary naming. We have the privilege of attending this evening. This is not something I've experienced yet on the board. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Gandhi to introduce this.
Thank you, Board President. In your packets, you have a copy of Fargo Public Schools policy on naming of Fargo Public Schools facilities or other spaces. What's being brought to you today is a request under the category of naming other spaces without a financial contribution. Per our policy, the process would be whenever that request is made for naming of a facility or spaces, it goes through governance and then comes to the board for consideration, and that is what's being presented to you here today. Without wanting to bury the lead, I will ask the individuals or Principal Eric Hendrickson from Longfellow, who's representing the Longfellow Committee, who's making this request for one of their spaces to be named, to present why that request has been made.
Good evening, school board. I cannot describe how excited I am for this tonight. So, because you get to have a chance to have a motion in front of you renaming one of our rooms after Kathy Stigman, principal of Longfellow Elementary for 19 years. Also, just a special thank you, first of all, Jerry. Jerry Stigman is here with his family, so we're glad to have him here. And then a special thank you, she's not here, but Kara Fowle, one of our 5th grade teachers, has really been working with Jerry and the family on moving this forward, so a special thank you to her. You know, I'll be honest, I didn't get to know Kathy very well during my time, but one of my very first interactions with a Fargo Public School principal was with Kathy Stigman. Back in the day, you used to do a snapshot interview with Nancy Jordheim, and Nancy would send you off to 3 different buildings and just go meet with the principals. One of those principals was Kathy, and I will never forget it. This is my 2nd year. I was teaching 1 year out in Hazen, North Dakota, wanted to be closer to home, sat in Kathy's office. She was in a meeting, and she just came in like a whirlwind. Asked me about some questions, and all of a sudden goes, I like you, I'd hire you, I don't have a spot for you, best of luck. And then off she went to her next meeting. I'm going like, what in the world just happened? But Kathy was somebody special. When Kathy passed away, I went to her funeral and I had a chance to hear a lot of people talk about the amazing things that she did, not just for Longfellow, but for Fargo Public Schools in general. They talk about what a marvelous human being she was. Kathy was a strong advocate for children with special needs, and I can't emphasize the word strong enough. In fact, in 1990, she brought what is now called our RAISE room. So RAISE stands for Reaching Academic, Adaptive, and Independent Skills in Education. She brought that room to Longfellow. And with her leadership, it became a shining star that it is today. In fact, if you ever want to have your days brightened, come out to that room and it'll make you happy to be a part of Fargo Public Schools. When she passed away, I also reached out to our current families and staff about what they remember about Kathy. Because the cool thing is a lot of our parents are our former students. In fact, if you ask any classroom, how many of your parents went to school here, you'd get over half the hands would go up, which is amazing. So I asked for some feedback. That's what is, I believe, in your packet, but I do want to share one specific one for you because there's a reason for that. And here's what this person said. Kathy Stigman was the principal at Longfellow Elementary when I was a student there in the 90s. She was a strong leader, but also had a huge heart. She was tough on discipline, and as a student, you never wanted to get sent to Mrs. Stigman's office. She also was the motherly type who was there when you needed a hug or extra encouragement. To this day, whenever I write the word principal, I think of her. She always said, principals are the rules. I am the principal, because I'm your pal as well. Her impact on Longfellow is still present in the school today. She will be missed by the Fargo community, and I'm grateful to have her as a leader in my life, written by Allie. And I think the other cool thing is we also have a former strong connection. Robin was also a PTA president at Longfellow during Kathy's time. So with all that, I take renaming a room extremely seriously because like you said, this is not a common occurrence. And it should only be done for those who went above and beyond and had an immeasurable impact. In this case, it is easy to see how important Kathy was not only to Longfellow, but to Fargo Public Schools. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your comments. So with that, I will look for a motion. Allie, do you want to make
Can I
it?
get to make the motion,
Yes.
please? I move to approve Eric Hendrickson's request to rename the room at Longfellow in honor of Kathy Stigman.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Allie and we have a second from Robin. Is there any discussion?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I figured somebody would have to say something.
Yes, thank you for mentioning. I started my PTA time as president back in 2002, a long time ago. And Kathy was the kindest person I've ever met. She fought for her students like nobody else. She was one of those principals that fought boundary changes because she wanted her kids with her in her school. We took on a project to expand and add the current gym on and the internal reconfiguration, which is now, let's see, it's the library, that used to be the gym. And she included the PTA and the families in every step of the way, right down to how we chose colors. I share that just because she cared and she really involved parents. She made that a magnet school for SPED students. And that was one of the north side areas that they were focused there. And I can call Kathy a good friend because of the time that I spent there. And I expect everybody that knew Kathy called her a good friend because she made everybody feel like a good friend. And Jerry, thank you for being here. You were the principal at the same time at Jefferson, and we often talked about, different student bodies. And thank you to both of you for making such an impact in Fargo Public Schools. I will enthusiastically vote in favor of this motion. Jerry. Oh, no. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other comments or questions?
Sure.
Okay, Namal?
I don't know a lot about Kathy, but the day that I met the principal himself, I think that he's just incredible over there at Longfellows. And I think that just hearing the energies and in this room, and then also to just him speaking as a person and as an individual, that itself, it's very self-explanatory, and I think that that's what we want, in human in generals. It's not about the education. It's not about anything else. It's about who you are as a person. And that's what I saw from the principal from Longfellows, even though I haven't been there in a while. But I think that last time that I went over there, I had a baby in my belly, but now he's born, and he's 5 months. So we'll be seeing you soon, both of us. So thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, well, I think it is time to call the roll.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Olenberger,
Yes.
Berklin,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Christensen Meinier.
Yes, and that motion passes 9-0. All right, item B on our agenda is memo number 87, and I'm going to turn to James Hand for this one. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Don't touch it.
Okay, deal. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. Today in front of you have Board Memo 87, which is award a proposal for construction management at risk services for the facilities maintenance project. This would be our next round of facilities maintenance project. We do have a round that's on its way right now that will be beginning construction this spring, summer. This would be for the package of work that would start next summer. So we want to start getting that plan and everything in place now, so that we can be even another layer of prepared and ready to go and collaborate with stakeholders and all that good stuff. But anyway, the preliminary list of projects that are included in this is on the last page. The first step in this process is we'll be working with them to review that list of projects, make sure we have proper budgets and scope of work defined, so that we can, if we need to prioritize things, which we probably will need to. This list is probably higher than the budget that we would have for the project, but we need to dive into that. That would be the first thing that we engage with this firm. 3 firms responded and were interviewed by a selection committee. The selection committee makeup, dictated by a Century Code, is a FPS representative, engineer, an architect, and a construction a licensed contractor in the state of North Dakota. And the recommendation after reviewing proposals and interview was for Gertz Construction to be the construction manager at risk. And one thing I just want to mention, a good sign that we're doing this process the right way is that we've had 3 construction management at risk RFQs hit the street since we started using this delivery method. And this will be our 3rd construction management firm that we've selected. We're focused on making sure we have the right team for the right project at the right time. And that is seemingly going really well. So the process is working the way it's supposed to. With that, I will take any questions that the board has regarding this board memo. And yeah.
Sure, thank you. So if you have questions for James, we'll go ahead and do that now, and then we'll eventually move towards a motion for board conversation. So questions for James? Oh, we're going to be easy on you
Nailed it.
tonight.
Thank
Look
you,
at
yeah.
that. Okay, would anybody like to bring forth a motion? Okay, thank you.
I move that we accept the proposal from Gertz Construction Services for construction management at risk services on the facilities maintenance project and issue a contract accordingly.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Nikki and a second from Jason. Do we have any questions or discussion on the motion? All right, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Olenberger,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Christensen Meineer.
Yes, and that motion also passes 9-0. Next, we move on to item C. This is memo 88, and I am going to turn to Jackie to introduce this one to us.
Thank you. Before you is a memo for recognition of the Fargo Education Association as the negotiating unit for the classification of employees listed, as well as for the matters of employment that pertain to it. All petition signatures were received that met the statutory requirement for this. And it is now before you as we receive no contests as well to the FEA being the representative organization.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. We do have a motion, and I would ask that you read it because it's long, and I'll make sure we get it right. Okay, go ahead.
I move that pursuant to North Dakota Century Code 15.1-16-10, the board recognize the FEA as the representative organization for the negotiation unit consisting of all employees licensed to teach by the Education Standards and Practices Board or approved to teach by the Education Standards and Practices Board and employed by the board primarily as classroom teachers within the negotiating unit for matters relating to terms and conditions of employment and employer-employee relations, including salary and working hours for the period of at least 1 year beginning on April 1st, 2025.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Ally and a second from, who, what was that over here? Nikki, sorry. Any discussion? Sorry, I was distracted by that. Any conversation, discussion, questions? No? Okay, Anne Marie, can you call the roll?
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Olenberger,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Christensen Meineer.
Yes, and that motion also passes 9-0. And that takes us to item D, which is memo 89. This comes to you from me here. As you remember, on Friday, February 28th, we unanimously offered Dr. Steiner a 2-year contract. So that's here in front of you, and at this point in time, it is our job to now approve this. As you can see, he has signed it, and so I will look for a motion. Robin?
I'd like to move that the Board of Education of the City of Fargo approve the 2-year superintendent contract with Dr. Corey J. Steiner, commencing on July 1st, 2025.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Robin and a second from Ally. Any conversation, any questions? All right, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Olenberger,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Jason Nelson,
Yes.
Kristen Nelson,
Yes.
Robin Nelson,
Yes.
Christensen Meineer.
Yes, and that motion also passes 9-0. Okay, and now we have moved on to our board reports, our committee liaison and correspondence reports, and I will start over here with Robin and just head down the row.
Sure. Yes, very quickly, I've sent you a lot of reports outside of attending my regular committee assignments. Our Governmental Affairs Committee meets on Friday at noon. That's all.
Thank you, Greg.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, negotiations will meet on the 27th, Thursday morning at 7:30, and then we're actually going to start negotiating with the FEA next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. in the boardroom.
Wonderful, thank you. Kristen?
Outside of returning emails and working on legislative stuff, nothing to report.
Okay, thank you very much. Ally?
Nothing to report.
Jason?
Attended a Design Standards, Energy, and Sustainability meeting hosted by James today. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Namal?
Yes, I was able to go to McKinley yesterday with my son, Des Lodge. He was fun, and we get to, how can I go? It was it was not a it was not a huge school, it's a small one, but it was fun. Get to be able to go around the whole schools and get to see the kids, and he get to enjoy the music room because it was very quiet, and they had that song, to make him go to sleep, and he did. Um, but overall, I think I had a really good time with the teacher. I get to know this teacher a little bit, and I get to see the whole schools and what they do and what they're all about. So it was fun to really get to learn more about McKinley and the teachers and their principals and the students. Yeah.
Thank you, Namal.
Oh, and I also went to Lincoln's and just to check in with them. It was fun. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Nikki.
For CEA this month, we canceled the meeting. We didn't have anything pressing, and just coming off of a superintendent search and knowing we're going into negotiations, thought it was a great time to catch our breath. So that's what we have. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And for my president's report, I'll share that on Friday, March 14th, Laura Christensen and I were able to meet for our monthly meeting. And then also friendly reminder, please, that Anne Marie has sent out a couple emails. Make sure that you respond to the new doodle poll. Hopefully we'll find something that works. It's also time for us to submit our requests for where you want to hand out diplomas, which is definitely a highlight of the year of being a board member. And then at your desk here in front of you at your seat, you can see your travel information that Anne Marie has so nicely put together for us. And as a friendly reminder, you need to bring your hotel receipt back to her. Really?
Yes. I've been told that's very, very important. So that's why I'm going to say it into the microphone here while we're all together. But that's all I have for my president's report. And then Melissa, will we be needing an executive session?
No, we haven't had a committee meeting since our last school board meeting, so we're not going to be needing that tonight.
Okay, thank you. So our next regular meeting is April 8th. Right now it is 6:07 p.m. and we are adjourned.